What if the Sun, the massive star that powers our planet, was just 50 kilometers away from Earth? Sounds like a wild science fiction story, right? But what would actually happen if this unimaginable scenario became reality? Currently, the Sun is about 149.6 million kilometers away from Earth. This incredible distance is not just a coincidence, it's the perfect setup that makes life possible. The Sun's warmth provides energy for plants, drives the water cycle, and creates the perfect balance of heat and light for us to thrive. But what if this balance were disrupted? What if the Sun began creeping closer, step by step? At first, it might seem like just a hotter day, but as the distance shrinks, the effects would grow more extreme, leading to unimaginable destruction. In this video, we'll explore what would happen if the Sun moved closer to Earth at key points: 1 million kilometers, 50,000 kilometers, 10,000 kilometers, and finally, just 100 kilometers. By the end, you'll see how this scenario isn't just about heat, it's about the fragile balance that sustains all life on our planet. Stay tuned for a journey into this fiery thought experiment. At a distance of 1 million kilometers, the Sun would still be significantly closer than its current position of 149.6 million kilometers. This drastic shift would begin to disrupt Earth's delicate balance, though life wouldn't disappear instantly. The first noticeable change would be the intense increase in heat. With the Sun now so close, its radiation would skyrocket, causing global temperatures to rise dramatically. Glaciers and polar ice caps would begin to melt at an alarming rate, leading to rising sea levels and widespread flooding. Areas near the equator would become uninhabitable as temperatures soar beyond human tolerance. Solar radiation would also start to overwhelm Earth's atmosphere. The ozone layer, which protects us from harmful ultraviolet rays, would weaken significantly, exposing life to dangerous levels of UV radiation. Plants and crops would struggle to survive under these conditions, threatening the global food supply. The Sun's gravitational pull would also become much stronger, affecting Earth's orbit. This could lead to erratic seasonal changes, disrupting ecosystems worldwide. At this stage, while life might still exist in some regions, the Earth would already be experiencing the beginning of a catastrophic chain of events, setting the stage for even worse outcomes as the Sun draws closer. If the Sun moved to just 50,000 kilometers away, the situation would escalate into a full-blown catastrophe. At this distance, the heat and radiation would become overwhelming, fundamentally altering Earth's environment in ways unimaginable. The surface temperature of Earth would rise to levels far beyond what any living being could endure. Oceans would start to boil, sending massive amounts of water vapor into the atmosphere. This vapor wouldn't form clouds as it usually does, but would instead trap even more heat, creating a runaway greenhouse effect. Within days, all water bodies would evaporate, leaving behind barren land and salt flats. The intense heat would ignite widespread fires across forests and cities. Most of Earth's vegetation would be incinerated, leaving nothing to absorb carbon dioxide. The air itself would become toxic, filled with ash, smoke, and unbreathable levels of CO2. The Sun's gravitational pull would also cause severe disruptions. Tidal forces would become extreme, triggering massive earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. The Earth's crust, unable to handle such stress, would crack and shift, further destabilizing the planet. Additionally, the atmosphere would start to strip away under the intense solar winds. Without this protective shield, Earth would be bombarded by deadly radiation, making survival impossible even underground. At 50,000 kilometers, Earth would no longer be a livable planet, it would be a scorched, chaotic wasteland on the brink of complete destruction. At just 10,000 kilometers away, the Sun would turn Earth into an apocalyptic nightmare. The intense proximity would unleash catastrophic heat and radiation, leaving no chance for survival. Earth's surface would instantly ignite under the Sun's blistering heat, which would now be thousands of times stronger than normal. Temperatures would exceed the melting point of most elements, turning the planet's surface into a glowing sea of molten rock. Skyscrapers, mountains, and landscapes would disintegrate in moments, leaving behind nothing but molten lava. The atmosphere would no longer exist as we know it. The intense heat would strip away every layer, from the protective ozone to the breathable air. Without an atmosphere, Earth would be exposed to direct solar radiation and massive solar winds. This relentless assault would blast away any remaining traces of life or water. The Sun's gravitational pull would become overpowering, disrupting Earth's rotation and orbit. The planet could spiral closer to the Sun, or its crust might start to peel off, leaving behind a crumbling core. Earth's magnetic field, which shields us from harmful solar particles, would collapse entirely, leaving no defense against deadly cosmic forces. At this distance, even underground bunkers or advanced technology couldn't save humanity. The planet would become a molten, glowing orb of destruction, completely unrecognizable from its current state. The sun's sheer power, now so close, would demonstrate the delicate balance that keeps life on Earth possible. At 10,000 kilometers, this balance would be irreversibly shattered, with Earth reduced to a lifeless, fiery wasteland. At just 1,000 kilometers away, the sun would dominate the entire sky, appearing as an unimaginable inferno. Its heat, light, and gravitational pull would completely obliterate Earth, reducing it to a molten, unrecognizable state. Temperatures at this distance would exceed millions of degrees Celsius. The intense radiation would vaporize Earth's surface in an instant. Rocks, metals, and even the Earth's core would melt, turning the entire planet into a massive sphere of liquid fire. Any remnants of Earth's atmosphere or water would have long been stripped away, leaving nothing but glowing plasma. The sun's gravitational force would overwhelm Earth entirely. The tidal forces would be so strong that they could pull the planet apart piece by piece. Earth's crust and mantle would shatter into fragments, which might spiral into the sun or disperse into space as debris. Earth would essentially cease to exist as a planet, reduced to a collection of molten material and particles. Without any protection from solar radiation, the remnants of Earth would be bombarded with endless solar winds, further accelerating its destruction. At this distance, the magnetic field, if any part of it survived earlier, would completely vanish, leaving nothing to shield the planet from the sun's destructive energy. This close proximity would not only destroy Earth but would also disrupt the sun itself. The intense interaction between the sun's gravitational pull and Earth's mass could trigger solar instability, releasing flares and waves of energy into space. At 1,000 kilometers, Earth's existence would end entirely, a harsh reminder of the power and destructive potential of the sun when this delicate cosmic balance is disturbed. At a mere 100 kilometers away, the sun would completely engulf Earth in its overwhelming presence. This isn't just a scenario of extreme heat or light. Earth would cease to exist within moments of reaching this proximity. The surface of the planet would vaporize instantly. Temperatures at this range would reach tens of millions of degrees Celsius, enough to disintegrate even the strongest materials at the atomic level. The Earth's structure, crust, mantle, and core, would break down and merge into the sun's fiery plasma. Gravitational forces at this distance would destroy Earth before it even fully approached. The sun's pull would tear the planet apart, creating massive tidal forces that would shred it into smaller fragments. These fragments wouldn't last long, they would melt, vaporize, and become part of the sun's outer layers. The sun's solar winds would also play a role in Earth's final moments. These charged particles, already powerful from millions of kilometers away, would bombard Earth with such intensity that even the strongest metals or compounds would disintegrate. At 100 kilometers, Earth's mass could slightly disturb the sun itself. This disturbance might cause localized solar flares or explosions, but these events would pale in comparison to the overall destruction of Earth. In this unimaginable scenario, Earth wouldn't just be destroyed, it would be erased. Nothing recognizable, no traces of life or the planet's history, would remain. This extreme thought experiment highlights the incredible power of the sun and reminds us how crucial its current distance is to sustaining life on our fragile planet. The sun, at its current distance of 149.6 million kilometers, is perfectly positioned to sustain life on Earth. This delicate balance provides the light, heat, and energy needed for ecosystems to thrive, while maintaining a safe distance from the destructive power of its immense radiation and gravitational pull. Through this journey, we've explored the catastrophic consequences of the sun inching closer. From rising temperatures at 1,000,000 kilometers to the absolute obliteration of Earth at just 100 kilometers, it's clear how vital the sun's distance is. Each step closer would bring chaos, melting ice caps, evaporating oceans, collapsing atmospheres, and eventually, the complete destruction of our planet. This hypothetical scenario serves as a powerful reminder of the fragility of life and the unique conditions that make Earth a habitable home. The sun's immense energy, while life-giving at a distance, can become life-ending when unchecked. As we marvel at the sun's role in sustaining our world, let's also appreciate the extraordinary balance of the universe that allows life to exist in the first place. This thought experiment reminds us to cherish and protect our planet, as it remains one of the few places in the cosmos where life can flourish.